All right, welcome back. So in this series, we've spent a lot of time digging into some really solid individual STL systems, the classics. But today is when things get really interesting. We're going to talk about what happens when you start mixing and matching these technologies. Let's get right into it.
And just so we're all on the same page, this is part 8 of our big 10-part tutorial. So if you've been following along, you'll know we've laid a lot of groundwork. Today, we get to build on all of that and start talking about the strategies that are really shaping the future of staying on the air.
For the longest time, the thinking in broadcasting was all about finding that one silver bullet STL. That one perfect, rock-solid, set it and forget it solution. Maybe a single microwave shot or a dedicated T1 line. But is that really the smartest way to think about it anymore? In the world we live in now, does a single point of failure, no matter how reliable, really make sense?
Well, the short answer is no, not anymore. The future, and honestly, the present, is all about being hybrid. And this is really the core idea for today. The most bulletproof setups out there now are the ones that don't put all their eggs in one basket. They're combining different technologies, grabbing the best parts of each one, and using them to cover each other's weaknesses. It's just smarter.
Okay, so let's dig into this hybrid approach. We're going to start with what is probably the most common and, frankly, one of the most powerful combinations you'll see out in the wild today.
So for your primary path, your main link, the go-to choice is still often a classic RF link. Think a 950 MHz microwave shot. And why is that? Well, it boils down to one word: control. It's your link. It doesn't depend on the local cable company or some fiber provider. So when a backhoe takes out a fiber bundle down the street, guess what? You're still on the air. You own the path from end to end.
Okay, but what happens if that RF link does fail? Maybe some crazy weather or equipment failure? That's where you bring in the backup, an IP link. This could be fiber, cable, whatever you can get. And this right here is the absolute beauty of the hybrid strategy. The things that can take down your RF link, like a massive solar flare or antenna icing, have zero effect on your IP link. And the things that kill your IP link, like that backhoe, your RF link just sails right through. They fail for completely different reasons. Now that is real redundancy.
Of course, making this work seamlessly isn't quite as simple as just plugging in 2 boxes. You've really got to think through the details. How does the system actually switch? How fast does it fail over? You also have to think about something called failback. See, you don't want your system flapping. That's where it switches to backup, then the primary comes back just enough so it switches back, then it fails again, and it just keeps bouncing back and forth. You need to build in some logic, some delay, to make sure when it switches back to primary, it's for good. It has to be a clean, decisive move.
So that RF and IP combo is kind of the gold standard right now. But what's next? Well, there's a whole new set of tools emerging that are giving us even more ways to build these robust links. Let's look at what's on the horizon. First on the list is something called SD-WAN. The easiest way to think about it is like having a super smart traffic cop for your internet connections. Instead of just having one road for your audio to travel down, SD-WAN can look at multiple roads at once, maybe a fiber link, a cable modem, and a cellular connection. And in real time, it directs your audio packets down the fastest, cleanest, least congested path. It's constantly making decisions to give you the best performance.
And here's how it pulls that off. First, it combines a bunch of different connections. Then its intelligent routing is that traffic cop we talked about, steering data based on what's working best. If one path totally fails, no problem. It automatically and transparently moves everything to the other working paths. And maybe the best part for engineers, you get one single dashboard to see and control everything. It's kind of like taking that hybrid idea we just discussed and putting it on autopilot.
All right, you knew it was coming. We have to talk about 5G. And look, it's way more than just getting faster movie downloads on your phone. For us, in the broadcast world, the real magic word is network slicing. This is the big promise of 5G, the idea that a cell carrier can carve out a piece of their network just for you, with a guaranteed amount of bandwidth and low latency. Think of it like a private, virtual fiber circuit, but delivered wirelessly over the air.
But we've got to separate the hype from the reality. The advantages are obvious, right? You can set up a link super fast pretty much anywhere there's a signal, but the limitations are very real, at least for now. Coverage can be spotty, especially once you get outside of major cities. And that killer feature, network slicing, it's not really something you can just go out and buy everywhere yet. So is 5G a powerful tool for the future? Absolutely. Is it a perfect SDL solution today? Not quite.
So what about those really tough locations? You know the ones. The transmitter site on top of a mountain where there's no fiber, no line of sight for microwave, and maybe one bar of cell service if you hold your phone just right. For years, that was a huge headache, but this is where modern satellite internet is completely changing the game. Thanks to new low Earth orbit, or LEO satellites, the old deal breakers of satellite, insane latency and slow speeds, are basically disappearing.
And this chart really tells the whole story. Just look at that latency number. A new LEO system gets you down to 20 to 40 milliseconds. That is totally workable for broadcast. Now compare that to the old school satellites, which are stuck up at 600, 700 milliseconds of delay. That's over half a second. You just can't do real-time audio with that kind of lag. So this drop in latency, it's not just an improvement, it's what makes satellite a real viable option for the first time for a lot of people.
Okay, wow. So we've got RF, we've got IP, SD-WAN, 5G, satellite. It's a lot of options, right? So how on earth do you decide what's right for your station? Well, thankfully, you don't have to just guess. There's a really solid strategic way to approach this. And here it is, a simple 5-step framework. It's all about being methodical. First, you figure out what you actually need. What's your budget? How much downtime can you tolerate? Step 2, you do your homework. What's actually available at your sites? Don't assume, go find out. Once you know what you need and what you can get, then you can start designing your primary and backup paths. From there, you can figure out the real cost, not just the gear, but the monthly bills, the whole shebang. Following these steps ensures you end up with a solution that actually works for you, not just one that looks good on paper.
Which brings us right to the final big question. The key takeaway here is that there's no one-size-fits-all. The perfect solution for a station in downtown Chicago is going to be totally different from one in rural Montana. It's all about finding the right mix for your operation, your market, and your budget. By thinking hybrid, you're not just patching a hole for today, you're building an STL that's ready for whatever comes next. So take a look at your own setup and ask yourself, what's the combination that's going to keep you on the air no matter what?